Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Fuck me, we can't have that. Can we not stop? There we go. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the Sunday Night Debrief after a disastrous goal up north to Hull City, which, if you didn't know, I will give you a fact on Hull City. What I found out the other day, being 48, I did not know this until Friday night, thanks to T from Hoff on Twitter. But yeah, hey ho, we'll do that one in a bit. Keep listening. Remember to touch that like button if you are watching us on YouTube. If you're watching us on Twitter, hello, why not just give it a repost? Good evening, Stephen. I'm trying to do this as best I can without crunching down on a hula hoop I've got in my mouth, which I didn't realise we were going live as quickly as it did. So yeah, so speak and then I can crunch.
Evening, guys. Hope all of you are well. There's a few comments in the chat. I have thrown you under the bus for the lateness of the show as well, and there's a few comments in relation to that. I'm sure we'll get into it. That is one of the comments, funny enough.
I know.
Yeah, we'll get into it a bit more as the show goes on. But yesterday was it was a tough watch and another disappointing defeat. Do you still need me to talk because you're crunching away over there? He's muted himself now as well to make sure that it don't come through on his mic. Yeah, so lots of comments. Mickey's going to get to them as and when he's finished on his hula hoops. A couple of names: Peter, John, Stephen, Paul, Evening, Andrew, Connor. A lot of regular names in there. So really good that you've joined us again. Starting point, I think there's a lot of people that will blame individuals, different individuals. I'm sure there'll be lots of discussion point on this, but the goal, the goal. Some people have blamed Wes Harding. Some people have blamed Mati Sarkic. Personally, I think it's harsh on Sarkic. People are saying he gets up slowly, but the guy's hit the shot like an absolute thunderbolt. He's ended up outside of the goalpost. And then obviously Philogene, it's handball. We're never going to get anything like that. You're just not going to get it. And Philogene scores. But for me, it's on Wes Harding. I don't know what's gone wrong with him. I think there's a case of he scored a couple of goals from centre half. He's come in and people have gone, why hasn't he been playing? Why hasn't he been playing? I was watching the game yesterday and texted my dad and said that I think I understand why Gary Rowett wasn't picking Wes Harding now, because mistakes after mistakes keep happening. And unfortunately, with the situation we're in, we can't keep carrying him along.
Not bad, was it? You've done that for about 2.5 minutes then.
Yeah, now I need a breath.
yeah, that's it. I think Harding has good and bad. I think it's what we said before when it was Harding. If Hutch is there, then he seems to be okay. When Hutch ain't there, same as with Cooper. When Hutch ain't there, then him and Cooper seems to have, shit games, to be fair. Josh, give me a couple of positives then from yesterday, fella. Because I'm damn sure that if I ask people to give us some negatives from tomorrow, we'll probably outweigh it. So I don't think it's 50-50. I think, look, right, let's not... Let's come back to these in a sec. Let's go back to Mark's one there. Evening, guys. How long until the Joe Edwards brigade starts moaning to get him out? I don't think we're there. I don't think, we're not there. I'm not there. Stephen might be. I'm not there. I think this is what we're seeing is a learning curve. But the problem is that it's sort of, an ex-player said to me, it's a bit like the blind leading the blind to a degree. You've got, obviously, someone who's never been in this position before, knows what he wants to do and is capable of doing it. But if the board ain't going to make those investments or give him the purse to be able to do it, then pretty much he's fucking, he's pretty much up the river, up the Swanee without a paddle in it or whatever it's called. But yeah, it's pretty much, it don't matter what he wants to do. If we're not giving him the investment, then he has to pretty much find homegrown players what are going to be able to do the task he wants to do. And that's the slightly worrying bit. 5 at the back like Rat, but playing out from the back very badly. Yes, if you watched Hull yesterday, they showed you how it was done. Even if that meant tippy-tappy between the goalie and their two defenders there, it literally was a masterclass in how to play out from the back. Before you knew it, they were through us. We just didn't close down. And when we did have the ball, we spent more time passing backwards than we did fucking forward. So you're sort of like, what do you do? Where do you go? What do you say?
The big thing with playing out from the back, just on that, and I don't know what the guys' thoughts are on this. Playing out from the back isn't the problem. It's who you're asking to play out from the back is the problem. If you look at Hull, there was a clip that went round. It was a Hull fan that initially shared it, and I think Phil Clark on Twitter made a comment. He shared it himself as well, right? Yeah. They play out from the back, and I think it's Philogene, if he actually plays a pass in behind down our right-hand side, they've got someone in on goal, starting the move from their goalkeeper.
Yeah.
It's the movement that you need and the speed of play that you need to play out from the back. You have to have willing players to come and collect the ball, turn on it, and have options to go to and from. Our problem is that our defenders, I don't really think, or maybe Tanganga, which it's hard to tell, but I think he started a bit iffy, if I'm honest, might have the ability to do it. But if he's
not match fit, he hasn't played since
I know.
For fuck's sake. So
no, I know.
I'm not going to have getting on him or the other new lad because they've just not been match fit.
No, they're not, and that's right. But you're still asking them to come into a team that's low on confidence and asking them to play away. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's his fault.
Forget that. No.
Listen, Mickey, if you look at the three centre halves yesterday,
fuck this low confidence bit. Yeah, they're fucking grown ass men who get paid shitloads of money per week, mate.
Yes,
but they're not asked up and crack on.
But they're not asked to play football from the back. You're asking two players that have never been asked really to play football in Cooper and Harding, and you're asking Tanganga, who has been in the Champions League, but he's unfit. So they're three players that are thinking, what are we doing? We're not confident. We're not able to do this how he wants them to.
This is the same thing what Joe picked up on the group chat yesterday, wasn't it? Where he turned around and said, realistically, they get paid shitloads of money. There's no football player on that pitch should have a bad foot. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be a.
No, but it's not about.
It should be. It's not just finish off. And to be honest, Bradshaw should have finished that yesterday.
Yeah, but that's a completely different issue. You're asking 6'4", 6'5" centre halves to play football, and then when they've got the ball at their feet, I love Casper and I love Saville, but it didn't work yesterday. They don't have the movement. They don't have the ability to do what Hull's players did. So you're asking a lot of players to do a lot of things, that they're not comfortable with. I don't blame Joe Edwards for that because he's trying to implement his style. The problem is that he's working with players that are not good enough to do it and they're not confident enough to do it. Sarkic is someone who's probably played out from the back at Wolves and is comfortable doing it. He is passing the ball to those centre halves and thinking, what the hell is going on? That is a criticism. I'm not against Joe Edwards. I think that he is someone that can really take this team forward, given a fair crack and a fair opportunity. But at the moment, there is a point in perhaps looking at what our strengths actually are in this team and trying to play to them. Because at the moment we're not doing that, and other teams are going, all right, then we'll pick you off. Hull could have had 4 or 5 in the first half yesterday.
I mean, and Ant's on here, right? Ant does what we do for Hull. We done a joint thing with the live the other day. Ant knows his football really, really well. I mean, you know, if need be, if Ant's about in a minute, maybe we'll get him on and he can sit there and think. But Hull are much better. I mean, to be fair, let's be honest, yeah, out of all the championship sides in this transfer window, Hull has second to none done the best. They fucking had an unbelievable window compared to anyone else. They pretty much rebuilt their fucking whole team, haven't they?
Oh yeah, and it shows they've invested in the squad, but that doesn't mean that you can't play against them, because in the second half, I thought we played all right. And okay, it wasn't the best half of football under Edwards, and it took us a while to have a chance on goal. But I thought we played okay and actually grew into the game. But that's because we stopped flapping around with it in our own box and playing around and try to be a little bit more what's the word? A little bit more dynamic on the ball. It's not going to work all the time.
I think look, I get that. And Bailey, this isn't about Edwards. This is about making sure that the players who go out there want to fucking do it.
100%.
There seems to be the problem. I don't think is Edwards as such. I think the problem is that for some unknown reason, the players just aren't fully committed, and that's the bit I can't get to understand, because you can look at it and go, yeah, they are, that player is, or that player is. I mean, look at Fleming. Fleming suddenly knows he ain't going nowhere. All of a sudden, we've got a different Fleming now.
Well, you say, look, Fleming is
He's
someone
fucking
who's
a lot better than what he was a month ago.
Well, yeah, okay, but I got slaughtered for talking about how he was in the Leicester game. That was right at the beginning of the transfer window, and everyone said that he had a really good game then. I thought Zian Fleming was our best player yesterday. I thought he actually looked like he cared. He looked like he was trying. He was bothered about the result. Yeah, okay, give a couple of silly fouls away, but in an attempt to win the ball back and try to make something happen. People said he should have done better with his effort. I thought the chip was the right way to go. I thought he was incredibly unlucky not to score from it. But it's not about, it's not, and that's that there from David. For as good as Hull were on the ball, and for as bad as we were, Matty Sarkic had nothing to do apart from pick the ball out of his net once.
I'll totally agree with you. But the problem is that that's great. But dragging out 0-0 games when all the opposition teams need is one chance and they score, that's going to fuck us for every game.
Oh,
we need to be able to score at least two. I mean, Ant's come on there again. Look, Ant's turned around and said, for me, it seems like there's a style you're trying to incorporate with players who just can't do it. But we said this all along. We said this under Rowett too.
But this is my point. When we played Middlesbrough at home a few weeks ago, we come out of the traps absolutely flying. I thought we scored really early against Preston. Against Leicester, we had chances. We set up yesterday, and for whatever reason, the players went out there and completely fell apart. And if you're falling apart by playing it out from the back and not getting anywhere, you've got to change it. You can't just play that way for 45 minutes. We did that in the second half. I don't know. I don't know because
every transfer window.
Yeah, but okay. But in this transfer window, we signed players in positions that we needed to strengthen. We needed another centre half, we needed another striker, and we needed a winger. We've all said that they've all either got injuries or they've not played before. We've done this, that, and the other. I agree that perhaps in a window where the club won't ever come out and say it, that we're looking like we're going to be at the bottom towards the bottom of the league fighting for our lives, but they're not going to come out and say that. So maybe they should have looked in a slightly different way. But the players have all brought in Tanganga, Champions League experience. Obafemi scored goals at this level. A young prospect, someone who we might look to try and set on in the future. They're players that add value to this team. But when they're filling in and they're playing against other players that can't play or are not good enough to play, and also you're asking players like Tanganga and Obafemi, both of them a prime example, that haven't played enough football. And they're being thrown in, and like I said, with Tanganga, he wasn't good yesterday, but I'm not blaming it on him. But he is playing with two centre halves that are absolutely shocking, and is expected to be able to drag them along with him. That's not going to
Oh,
work.
I totally agree. Look, Stevens, it's about the third time he said this, so, and I'll put everyone up, so, it is what it is. But Stevens sits there and says, 2 players that have barely played for over a year and an 18-year-old from League Two.
I know.
Unproven.
The 18-year-old from League Two, that is more of a longer term thing. The fact he's going to play it at the moment is the sign of the times, but I can get what he's trying to do. The 2 other lads, Obafemi could only play 45 minutes and Tanganga has had injury problems. I get it, and it is frustrating, but it's not on them. It's on the rest of the players that Edwards has got at his disposal. One other thing that, I mean, I know we've come off of the game yesterday, but it's something that I really feel needs to be spoken about, and it is a criticism of Joe Edwards, and I would like to see what the listeners think of this. Since Ryan Leonard got injured in the Leicester game, was taken off, we haven't won. Sean Hutchinson got injured in the Bristol City game. We haven't won since he's been out of the side. Hutchinson was different because it was done in the Bristol City game. Why did he risk Ryan Leonard in a cup game when it's a free hit? Because now we are so reliant on getting Hutchinson and Leonard back in this team because the others are just not good enough. That's something that's really bugging me because at the moment we are desperately missing Ryan Leonard. Desperately.
Dan Riggs has got a thing in there. Square pegs, round holes. Half the team can't string 5 passes together and looks like they don't know each other's game. It does look like they've never played together at all. We could have one game where they're on fire, where, tippy-tap, fucking 1-2s, everything. So on the nail. And then the next game, it's as if they've all been fucking, been on fucking Men in Black, mate, and had their fucking memories wiped. And they're like, oh, who are you? Do you know what I mean? What position do you play in then? Do you know what I mean? Where do I go? I'm not blaming Edwards at all. I just think Edwards is being I think personally Edwards is probably got his arms taped up behind his back at the minute with regards to recruitment. He's probably got a big list of players he wants, and the club's probably going, yeah, no, we can't do that. Yeah, no, we can't get that one. No, we can't get that one. There's an 18-year-old we could get, though, for the future if you fancy developing him. Yep, okay. Or we've got 2 players we can get basically cheaper because they haven't played for a year. David agrees with me there. Low on confidence, can't have it. They're great men. They are professional football players. Surely,
yeah, but there's not.
You can't just be going, oh, I'm not scoring.
No,
I'm low. That's like saying
it's not about not scoring.
I can't be doing a show tonight because my confidence shot. Do you know
it's not about not scoring, though, mate. It's not about not scoring, though.
No,
you're asking.
It's about not being able to fucking attack.
Look at Jake Cooper. He's 6'5", 6'6", never been asked to play football before, and he's been exposed every single week because of it.
What do you mean he's never been asked to play football before? He's fucking played professional football. He's been at the club 7 years. He knows how to play.
And under Neil Harris, and predominantly Neil Harris, he was asked to play a diagonal to Steve Morrison. He was not asked to have the ball at his feet and come out from the back with it and actually play football.
Come on. Listen, that excuse. Listen.
No, right, it's not.
Stephen. When did Morrison leave?
Yeah, I'm not saying.
No. When did Morrison leave?
You're just putting down what I'm saying. If you actually look at Jake Cooper, he is not a ball playing centre back, and he's been asked to play in that role. Anybody can see it. Anybody can see it.
Sell it. Get one who can.
I think that Joe Edwards probably will get rid of Jake Cooper in the summer. He can't get rid of him now because he's under a contract and probably the club would ask for too much money. But he is one that won't be here anymore. That's probably why. I mean, it's probably why we've got other players in the squad that are not going to be here at the end of the season because they're not good enough to play the way that Joe Edwards wants us to. We've said so many times, and you've agreed on the show, we've got 7 players that were signed under Neil Harris playing a completely different style of football, and now we're asking them to play like we're asking them to play like Barcelona, and we can't do it.
You put the thing is right. it's like it's like, and I know Connor's taking the piss here to a degree, but Connor's right. If you're getting paid 20 grand a week to play for Millwall, okay, it might not be that, say 15, 20 grand a week, yeah. You're playing 90 minutes, maybe 180 minutes per week, and 2 hours training every other day, right? And you get fucking weighted on hand and foot. So, which you do, you know, people will fucking book your dry cleaning in and book this in and do this and do that, right? Surely when you are playing, you'll go out of your way to play to the best of your ability. I mean, fuck me. Pay me 20 grand a week and I'll run through brick walls for you.
So are you saying that the players are not trying to play at the best of their ability? They're not trying.
To a degree. To a degree, yeah.
So the players are not trying. I don't think it's that they're not trying. I just don't think that they're good enough to play the style of football. And that doesn't mean you're not trying. I would try, but I'm not good enough to play football. I'm not good enough to do it. You pay me 20 grand a week.
I've never in my life welded, but you pay me 20 grand, I'll learn how to fucking weld for you.
Yeah,
they are football players, right? We're not listen, right? We're not saying to them, you are professional football players. I now want you to come and be a scratch golfer, or I want you to be a professional test fucking cricketer. These are things what these kids, these fellas have done all their life. Yeah, not asking them to do anything different. What you're saying is yes, they're professional football players, but they can't play football. But they can. They just need to be able to do it. If they actually figured out, right, okay, so we look at this going, right, you're in defence, right. We've got to stop the ball getting to you. We're going to fucking hold it here. We're going to pass it to you, and you're going to take it forward. Because there's people in the team. If you're not good enough, then it's like, look at our pod, right? Look at our pod and think everybody's fit. Yeah, it's not, you know, it's not Chris with his feet or with his knee and all that, right? We know damn well, me and you, that we're not going to be able to run with the ball. Yeah, we might be able to stick a ball in the net, but we're not going to be able to run with the ball. So we would give the ball to Ben, Dan, Omar, fucking Chris, say, yeah. We know that they could probably run better than what we can, yeah. And then that's it. It's just you'll figure out what the weaknesses are and what the strengths are, and go.
Yeah, but what you're not taking into account is that you're also up against opposition players who are predominantly better than you. Most of the teams we come up in this division have got players that are better than our players.
You just summed it up there. So the big problem is that it's not the fact that they can't play football. It's the fact that realistically, what we need to do in the transfer window is buy a psychologist who will fucking implant that we want that underdog mentality back in our team where nobody is better than us and we will just go out and try. Because at the moment, they're not.
But you could tell people that you're the best thing since sliced bread. If you don't have the ability to be a ball-playing centre-back and you've got someone that's on you, like Hull were yesterday, you're going to get found out. You can walk out on the pitch feeling $1 million. It don't make a difference when someone is on at you, wins the ball back, and they go and score from it. It don't matter. Or Jake Cooper, he's left one-on-one. Or everybody in this league knows that if, much like the goal against Preston a couple of weeks ago, Joe Bryan we were attacking, and Bryan was I wouldn't say out of position, but he was further up the pitch. We lost the ball, and the guy could just run past Jake Cooper like he wasn't even there.
So as a coach, you want a style, but the players can't do it. So the coach, if he is any good, needs to change his approach to use the players in the way they can play. 100%. Yeah, look, I'll get this, Andy. So Hull did have £68 million worth of talent on the pitch, though. And?
What do you mean, and though? What do you mean, and? If we played Man City every week, would you turn? If we were playing Manchester City, would you turn around and go, "Oh, it don't matter. Don't matter. They got Kevin De Bruyne. Don't matter. They got Jack Grealish. You got it. Of course, it matters.
Man City's a £1 billion team.
It doesn't matter. Hull's team is worth way more than ours. And are a better player than ours. And when you're asking people,
here we go. At the weekend, Newcastle United, yeah, been on fire recently, mate. Fucking got good players. Been on fire, yeah. They drew with Tim Pot Luton 4-4. And do you know why they drew 4-4? because fucking Luton wanted it. Luton fucking had a dog in that fight, and they fucking weren't going to let it go. And they kept on going and kept on going and kept on going. And that's why Luton got it. And it's as simple as that. Football is about two halves. You play five-a-side, and some weeks when you play five-a-side, you've got a team who's fucking mustard, but you figure a way out to fucking make sure that you block out one of them so that then they're not that mustard. Me personally, when I played five-a-side and the kids what were better, or the fellas what were better than me, who thought they were fucking Diego Maradona and whatnot, a quick shoulder into the side fencing soon fucking made them slow down.
Yeah, but you can't just do that at championship level.
No,
football.
But there's ways around it. Do you get what I'm saying? If you want something hard enough, yeah,
don't make you a better player. Don't make you a better player. You don't have to be the best
player in the world.
No, I'm not saying you have to be the best.
Heart.
Yeah, but
you need heart.
So you're saying that that none of our players have heart and care. That's what you're saying. I don't think it's that. I just don't think we're good enough to play the system that Joe Edwards wants us to play.
What do you think? Let get in the comments, mate. I'm trying to get through your comments as quick as possible. What do you think? Do you think realistically that a football player, you should be doing what you're paid to do? And if you're not that good a player, then realistically, you know, if you had the heart and courage to go out and just do what needed to be done.
Heart and courage don't win you games of football. Don't. It might win you a couple, but it don't win you enough at this level to keep you in the division.
Done Leicester okay though, didn't it?
Leicester aren't playing with heart.
No, but when they won the title, they did with heart. That's what they went out
they
and
did,
done it for.
and it was 5,000 to 1, and it's never going to be sin again.
No, but it's what I'm saying is that you're saying that, you know, if you're shit, then in football, if you're just not that good, you can't do. Football is all about a chance. It's 90 minutes on the pitch. You just need to make sure that you are just slightly better, regardless of what that is. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is? Football yes, it's about skill, but it's also about luck.
But you say that. Leicester haven't been lucky this season. They've got a better squad than everybody else.
Look now, but I'm on about when they won the Prem. No one saw it coming.
Yeah, no, they didn't. But it was a 5,000 to 1 long shot that's never going to be sin again. It's a great story, and they do have heart, and they were great. That's absolutely fine. But you can't just sit there and talk about the Millwall team and say, if you show a look, we all love a tackle. We all love players that run through brick walls. We love people that fight for the badge. But you cannot, at this level, with the Championship becoming a Premier League 2, you cannot just say, if you go out there with a bit of heart, you've got a chance, because it doesn't matter. You have to be better on the ball. Your ability has to be better. And we don't have why do you think? I know Fleming's been poor for the most of the season, and I've given him a lot of abuse. Someone with ability yesterday in Fleming looked up our best player because he was willing to actually try and willing to get on the ball and try and make things happen.
You know what I was saying?
No, but he's got the quality to do it. He's got the quality to do it. The other players don't.
Denor has the quality. Cooper has
not
the
yesterday.
Quality.
No, Jake Cooper does not have the quality to be a ball playing centre back in the Championship. He just doesn't.
He doesn't need to be a ball player because there's other players around him who can run with a ball, who can play forward with a ball. Give the ball to them.
But what I'm saying is that when you're Harding, Cooper, and Tanganga because he's not played hardly any football. Harding because we're realising he's just not very good, and Jake Cooper because he's not a ball playing centre back. You give the ball to them. Why do you think we keep going sideways? Because none of them really know what to do with it. I would say on that point with Bailey, I don't think we are necessarily in a relegation battle. We are getting dangerously close to being in a relegation battle. But the way to get out of it is to say to your players and say to the squad and those that are going out in the 11, whatever day, wherever you're playing the opponent, you have to try and find a way of sticking to what our strengths are. I'm not saying we've got to lump it up for 45 minutes and then do it again for the second half. What I'm saying is
what I'm saying is,
what?
Didn't I say that basically you just got to find what the players can do and just stick to that? It's just
No,
if you've
yeah,
got the
you
heart
do.
and passion to go out and just
But
know.
heart and passion don't make you a better team, though. It doesn't. You've got to have footballing ability at this level. The championship is not. It's a league where it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And having heart and ability will get you through in a couple of games. It really, really will. But the majority of them, you're going to get found out by skill.
I mean, Bailey says, I really think we're overreacting here. We look naive at points, but we were as good as them over the whole game yesterday, and they will get top 6.
I can't agree with that. I think
go on.
I think there's an overreaction in the sense of the relegation. I know it's tight and I know the points are getting closer, but there's a lot of teams in between us and the bottom 3. We've got to play a lot of them. I think we can't be panicking just yet, but there is a lot to be said about the way that we are going about trying to win games of football, because at the moment it's just not working.
Yeah, no, look, I don't disagree with you. It's not working, but there's a reason for it not working. And is that psychologically they're not there. They're just down.
Just out of interest, how many times have we said on this podcast, and I've got
Keenwood football coach.
A lot of time, obviously George Savile. Yesterday,
he looks like George Savile, doesn't he?
He does a bit. I don't think George Savile had a particularly good game yesterday. I really don't think he had a good game yesterday. But that doesn't mean that That doesn't mean that he wasn't trying. The game was just passing him by. I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of people that have got a lot to say about football. Everyone's entitled to their opinions 100%. But for me, providing that we don't keep slipping down the table, come the summer and come the rebuild under Joe Edwards, there are a lot of players in this team that are going to be either shown the door or we're going to look to move them on and sell them.
This is what Kane says. Look, Kane Wood says football coach. I don't know why I've read out your whole name there, fella, but yeah. Ant was right. He's playing his style now, so we don't start poorly next season, and he can identify who stays and goes in January. No point tearing up his style. No point tearing up his style and going back to square one in August. I've just sent Ant the link to see if it comes, because I'll be interested to see what other views he's got. He's put some in there, but I'll be interested to see what his are, because we are very blinkered to a degree. Do you know what I mean? He said earlier, actually, your players were right. We need Millwall type player. What? Sorry, Danny. Right, we get ruined over this all the time. When me and Omar used to sit there and go, we need a Millwall type player. Just what is a Millwall? I know you sort of briefly there, but what is a Millwall type player? Anyway, look, just do that. I'll come through your comments. I'm going to bring Ant. Obviously, he made a comment. Ant runs, and he basically does what we do, but he does it for a podcast called Hull and Back. And again, we've done a joint show of him for the preview before this game on Saturday. But and be interested to get your thoughts on obviously the game yesterday, and something what you said in your chat about, you can see what style he wants to play, but the players aren't good enough to play that style, because it seems to have resonated with a few of the viewers in the comments. So let's have an unbiased opinion of what you thought about our team yesterday.
Yeah, well, I thought the first half, we kind of blew you out of the water for the first 30 minutes or so, but we faded towards the end of the first half, and the second half, Millwall came out a completely different side. I thought he caused us a lot of issues and probably would have been worth a point in the end. But you can tell there's similarities to Millwall at the minute to when we were at the start with Rosinia, where he's asking the players to play an entirely new style of football, and it's that little bit of transition in between where they're so used to one thing and now they're being asked to make riskier decisions. It's the decision making in the moment that's the problem, not the system. that I've always said, because we still make mistakes now. I mean, there's been a couple of times this season where our goalkeeper or Seri's made the pass has been too short and a player latches onto it and scores. But at the end of the day, that sort of comes with time. It just depends on how much time you're willing to give said manager. And then also there's the other flip side of it is, realistically, if you've got players in the team that can't play the style they're being asked to play, they will be shifted out and replaced with other players, as we've done over the last few windows. But like at the end of the day, it depends who you're recruiting, because that style of football, the kind of players that you want to do that are usually your top end market players that are going to cost quite a bit. So realistically, how much time is Edwards going to get to try and find a gem from a lower league, or a loan player from the Premier League that can? Because I mean, Tanganga, for me, I thought he was actually quite good. I thought he was one of Millwall's very few decent players in the first half. But like you say, I can see both sides of the argument, because I've been saying in the comments, it's been a really interesting discussion between you both, because I do get confidence does have a lot to play with it. I think if you've got centre halves that have never been asked to play short, play out from the back style of football before, it is a tough ask for them. But I do also think that they can be conveyed into that, and they should be able to be conveyed into that as a professional footballer, as we've seen with some of our players. We never thought would be able to do this style of play, i.e. Louis Coyle, who I actually think's become a better player because of it. He was arguably our second choice right back for a long time, but then since the change in systems, he's actually now probably one of the first names on the team sheet, and has really adapted, really worked hard at trying to get into the system and become a better player for it. So I suppose it just comes down to patience.
Just out of interest, and you one thing you said there was about it's important that if players are not able to play a system, they're probably shipped out, because the manager is going to play his style of football, and he's going to get players that can do the things that he wants to do. If I'm right, I think your manager's first job was against us, I believe, at the Den. Out of interest, how many of the players that would have played around that time are still in your squad, or it would be in your matchday squad?
Very
roughly?
Few.
That's the answer I expected you to give, because what he's found that there's the couple that can play in the system probably are still around, but the ones that can't play in the system have been shifted out for players that can, because he's obviously identified and seen that he wants them to play a certain way. And for us, and my side of it, is that we've got too many players that cannot play the way that Joe Edwards wants us to play, and unfortunately we're at a position where there's fans that are getting on his back already. You've stuck with Rossinia, and it's now paying dividends because you're fighting at the right end of the league. Yeah,
but he has been backed quite substantially in transfer windows, which is probably a big difference.
How much have you spent this window?
This window, we've not actually spent that much, which is quite surprising. The players we've brought in have primarily been loans. I think we've spent $1.5 million on Panda, the goalkeeper, who I imagine is waiting for the opportunity to start. And we spent just over 2 million, I think, on the Turkish international, Abdush Irma, but the others have been loans. So Giles is a loan, Cavalio's a loan, Zarori's a loan. Who was the other lad that we brought in? Billy Sharp was for free from the MLS. David Ahayo's a loan. So it's utilising the loan market well, because we did lose, obviously, Scott Twine and Ruben Vinagre were on loan, and we sent them back because Twine wasn't getting played in his actual position, and we didn't really get a Scott Twine that we expected to get, and we replaced him with Fabio Cavalio. So I feel like we probably hit upgrade there, but we've not actually spent that much, and we sold Aliar for 2 million. So on the basis of things, when you look at our ingoings and outgoings, we've actually probably done quite okay.
Your window's been phenomenal. Just as an outsider, you look at the players.
It's been mad. Do you know what? It's been mad when you see us linked with some of these players, and you just think, like, when they first mentioned the Fabio Cavalio link, and it's like, there's no way in hell he's ever coming to Hull City. Never. Like, surely not. And I think there was a couple of Premier League teams in for him, Leeds and Southampton, Leicester. They were all in for him as well. And I just somehow our owner's got that pull. I don't know how he does it. I think Rossini has got a big part to do with it as well. I think he the way he speaks and the ideology he wants to play, the style of play, the way he convinces players of his style of play and whatever, it just obviously works. And we somehow managed to lure these Premier League standard players in when 2-3 years ago we were in League One. It's crazy.
Do you think your new your new owner is just basically geared that all forward? He's just brought a whole new rejuvenated your team for you going forward.
Yeah. I think it's. I mean,
because you don't shut up talking about him on the group we're in. Do
you know what I mean? Enjoying the good times,
it's like
Vicky.
a love
it's been
fest,
so bad.
mate. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is he's obviously. I think what happens when you've got a football club, you need to have the fans, the players, management, and owners all need to be on the same page and pulling in the same direction. And when there's a little bit of discrepancies between the two, that's where issues come. With us, the new owners come in after the previous regime have been absolutely horrible. He's come in, he's been absolutely fantastic, backed up every single claim he's made, and better, like taking fans on holiday, all this kind of stuff, paying for away travel, bringing in a fan favorite manager that's got a connection to the club, backing the manager with signings, but being smart about it, not putting the financial safety of the club at risk. It's just you feel good factors back. We had 10,000 attendance at one point, and he's brought 20k attendances back to the stadium. The city just is all together, and I think because of the way that the enthusiasm he has for the sport, the way he's taken the city under his wing and connected with the local people, it's all added to one, culminating of this positive atmosphere that quite clearly players want to be a part of. I mean, there's players that have literally been interviewing saying, I want to go to that club. That's how we ended up signing this Irma. His club wanted him to stay domestically, and he went, no, I want to go to Hull City. That's where I want to go right now. I want to go play over there, and that's why we ended up signing him. So it's refreshing to be a part of, especially when you're looking at clubs like Reading and that are their situations at the minute.
Just out of interest, just on a completely different subject, but a player that links the two of us in Ryan Longman. I think he's been hit and miss for us, but one thing I've been banging on about is that you shipped out Ryan Longman to us on loan and then brought in, I believe, Jaden Philogene shortly after. It was around the same kind of time. So you've got rid of a player to bring in that quality. I mean, this is probably going to seem like a really stupid question, but I assume that Ryan Longman has no hope of a future at Hull anymore.
No, not all. I mean, he's just been the quality of our team since getting promoted from the Championship has just been slowly upgraded every season, and there's some players that are left over from that sort of League One / Alam era that are just nowhere near the standard anymore. That if we want to be a side that's pushing for promotion to the Premier League, they're just not good enough. And I feel like with Longman, we signed him and he was only 20, I think, when we signed him, 2021. He was only a young player. He came in his first 6 months on loan. He was fantastic. He really was. We signed him for, I think it was 700k or something like that. And we all thought that was an absolute bargain. And then after he signed permanently, his form just dropped off a cliff and he never really recovered. But I do also think that it was the system. I think he's lying to himself when he says he's a winger / striker, because he's not. I think his best position's a wing back. We played 3-5-2 with Keane Lewis Potter on one wing back and Longman on the other. And he was fantastic in that role. That was the 6-month period where he was on loan. And then we switched to a 4-3-3 and put him up as a winger. And that's when his form dropped. So I do think that he's a wing back. But he's nowhere near the standard. I mean, we preferred to play centre midfielders out on the wing than play him there. I was very surprised that he went to a Championship club on loan. I genuinely thought he'd be League One, League Two. I don't know why you guys gambled on him. I can't imagine he's doing very well at the minute. But he did. I believe he made a comment when not long after he joined you guys. I think he played really well, didn't he, for his first couple of games, and he scored or something. And he made a comment to the press or something, saying like, "Oh, this is what happens when you're not told that you have to pass it backwards when you get into that." It's sort of taking a dig at Rosinia. And that's when you kind of know that he's realistically he's never going to come back here. You can't sort of nail a coffin like that.
It's just interesting that the comment that I'm taking from that is that you're amazed that we took a gamble on him and you thought he'd be a League One player. That to me is everything from someone from his parent club. You've summed it up what a lot of us think.
I've been thinking
him
for a while. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's quite a few of our players we probably think that we've done. I mean, Joe, with Joe Bryan as well, mate. Joe Bryan is another one who, to me, I think he's just biding his time so that he can get a coffee fucking sponsorship rather than a football playing, career. I know he's been around for good and he was there, but yeah, we're questioning on that. I mean, if anyone's got any questions they want to put to There we go. Look, Dave Clark's come in. So I'll ask you the same question about Longman, but with Honeyman. I mean, what's your thoughts on Honeyman? I mean, Dave Clark's basically said pretty much the same with Honeyman, isn't it?
Oh, that surprises me because we really liked Honeyman. He actually got clapped, which was quite refreshing, really, because even though they've been good for us, we tend to boo opposition fans. Players, and he came on and actually got a nice little round of applause. But Honeyman was arguably our best player for 2 or 3 years, even in the Championship. I think if you play him in his right role, which I think is like a box-to-box midfielder, you get the best out of him. He's creative. He got 14 assists for us. In the League One season, I mean, his set pieces have been really good. He's tenacious. He's full of energy, and he'll run for 9600 minutes, whatever the game is. But if you ask him to play out wide, or you ask him to play a position where he's more attacking, I think you lose a bit of him because he does like to chuck a couple of challenges. And I thought he played well when he came on against us. To be fair, he was a bit bitey, he broke our play up, and he looked a real nuisance for us. But it's quite surprising that Honeyman's not really kicked on at Millwall, but I imagine he's been played out of position quite a while.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there to a degree. One other question before I let you go, and is what the fuck is up with your pitch?
Oh God, no! It's a whole thing. So we share our stadium with the rugby club, Hull FC, and last season you've got 2 teams playing on at the same time. It doesn't have much time to recover. So then our season starts, and we've been playing on it obviously every 2 weeks or whatever. And it's got to a point now where really bad winter. There was a lot of rain up here. It's just in the state, and then obviously the rugby's starting again now, so it's only going to get worse from now to the start of the season. It is an issue that Rosini has raised because the style of player that we want to play, we need a pitch that's decent, and it's really not. So the ownership have come out. They did a live event with one of the local paper events that they did. They're completely relaying the pitch in summer, which is nice, but doesn't help us this season. So they're spending $1.5 million on a brand new pitch in summer. So it'll be nice next season. But this season, no, it's not doing as many favours. It's torrid at the minute, really is.
So Bailey's thrown a question in for your last question before we let you go, mate, right? And it's quite an interesting one, and it'll be good to see what your thoughts are. Bailey's question is, how many players that we have would you sign for Hull?
That is a good question. I like Fleming. I thought he looked good. And I think did the loan players count? I did like the look of Tanganga. He did look a beast going forwards as well. But the midfielder, what's he? Number 20? Is he 24? He looked a decent lacquer as well.
Who's that? That's Denor, isn't it?
Denor.
Yeah. Denor and Fleming, I think, were really good.
There is no surprise whatsoever that the 2 players that you've picked are probably the 2 players that most other fans of other clubs would pick in our team. And a lone player, which that's not even ours. So, I'm not surprised at all that they're the ones that you've picked. Really?
No, nor mine.
I don't think our listeners would be either. They're probably thinking, yeah, and nodding along and agreeing, probably.
Yeah, no, they probably are. But look, thanks for jumping on, fella. It's a pleasure as always. We will get to see you with something we're planning soon, talking more about Championship, but that's early stage. But yeah, thank you very much for short notice jumping on. Much appreciated, fella.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I enjoyed the viewing. It was good being in the. It was a very entertaining watch.
You can go back in the viewing now.
Yeah, we'll do.
No worries, fella. Thanks very much, mate. Speak to you.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers,
good
mate.
luck for the rest of the season, lads. See you later.
Thanks.
Yeah, you too.
Cheers, mate. Bye. So look, we
Do you know what? Just before from somebody that has seen us maybe twice this year, might have seen us in other games on the telly, but for him to say, and he said Fleming with no doubt, really, because he did have a good game yesterday, but that just shows the level of where we are to being going for the top 6 in this division. He miles apart. 100%.
But it all boils down to not just Edwards. It's down to recruitment, the way we are. The fact that we still have players here who Harris signed sums it all up. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to press that like button. Let's get through some more of these.
And also the other thing as well is views on Ryan Longman. The fact, we've all said it, the fact that he turned around and said, "I'm amazed that you took a gamble on him, and he should probably be in gone into League One." That just tells you where we're at as a football club, and that's on Rowett and Alder. That's not on Joe Edwards at all. But that just shows the ability that we've got in this team is just not. It's just not good enough.
I mean, where are we? Husey says we have to shop at football car boot sales. It's just that Aldo seems not too good at finding the gems that end up in the Premier League Antiques Roadshow. How many players that we have would he sign for Hull? He answered that. Do you think Millwall can change the style of play successfully? Put that to you lot watching now. But if you think Millwall can or can't, just put yes or no.
Yes, but not with this team. Not with this team.
Or you can, you can go against the yes or no and just do what Stephen said there. So yes, but not with this team. There we go. Do you know what I mean? So that's down to them. Honeyman should have started against his old club. End of. Him and Bradders brought the energy that we needed from the start. Yeah. To me, Adam Barrett on the coaching staff is the problem. He's been there when Harris resigned, there with Rowett, and now with Edwards, with poor style of strategy gain.
The Barrett one's interesting, though, isn't it? Because it's just Barrett's been at the club for a long time and the players trust him. Whether that means that he should still be there, I don't know. But it is an interesting one.
Hull are where we were last season. We just lost the plot.
I agree with that, but the standard of the league is a lot harder than what it was last year. Massively harder than what it was last year.
Anyone else shot Nesbitt is out for the foreseeable? No, I think he'll probably be out for a while now.
And I think he'll be back in Scotland and all.
Yeah. We look at tired squad, lack of attacking ideas, painful. Recruitment has been poor for years. Luton last year were with us. We're us with better recruitment. We don't take enough risks in the market. We have to shop top of the League One and actually take. We have to shop top of League One and actually take a chance. Yes, in another window or two. Yes, with an influx of new players. Yes, not with the current team. Stoke will save us. You heard it here first.
That's an interesting point.
It is an interesting point. How many players will Edwards keep at our club? There's another question for you lot in the comments. Getting rid of Barrett isn't the answer. I agree, because I think the players actually like him and the board love him. So I think it will be hard to go. But I do think within the next season or two, I think he will go and Edwards will bring in another one of his guys if he's here, purely because of, I think that he will just want to trim his style of football. So if Edwards continues to ask them to do what they clearly cannot do, he will lose the dressing room. We don't have the money to get the players we need. This is our lot for years to come. Do the under-23s play the same style so they're ready for the first? That's a good point. That is. It's a good point. That is. I'll put that to probably put that to Kiro and see if he can find out. I don't know what style they play, to be fair. They don't. There you go. They don't, Alex. How many points from the next 4 games? And back again.
John, we'll come back to that. About the points and the next few games.
And you have to try and recruit from teams playing with similar styles to what Edwards wants to incorporate. That way, they don't need to adapt to a different style. Lots of teams playing that way now. We can't keep holding on to fans' favourite in Deadwood. Massive clear out is needed. Yeah.
The thing is, when people are talking about the players like that one there, Denor, Fleming, McMayer, SA and Amaku, that obviously the ones that are going to stay. We've got is it five? Yeah, 5 loan players: Campbell, Longman, Tanganga, Obafemi, and is there one more? Is there one more in there? Longman, Campbell, Tanganga, Obafemi. There's one more. I think it's one of the guys. I can't think who it is, but there'll be another one. They're all going to go back. Then you've got Leonard, Bradshaw, Bart, Hutchinson, and Saville all out of contract. Oh, Norton Cuffey. There you go. Norton Cuffey's the other one. All out of contract. So that's 10 players out of this current squad. And if you look yesterday, how many of those 10 were in the match day squad?
Yeah,
that's a huge rebuild in itself. They're going to have to do it. So there's going to be a few that's left over. That's why it's not going to be an instant thing. But the players that are left over from this current squad will start to be phased out over the next couple of windows. I agree, it's money. But,
no, I do as well.
But they're going to have to try.
Yeah, no, I get that. And Stephen, it's that time, mate, where I'm gonna do a draw for a keyring.
Okay.
Anyone who's commented so far this evening, you are in with a shout. Watch it now be fucking Ant. Do you know what I mean? If you've already won, then I will be doing another one. We'll go on.
Oh, there you go.
Dave Turner. There you go. Congratulations, Dave. Get in touch. Let us know if you want to meet Stephen at the ground or one of us at the ground to pick up your keyring, or you can basically get it and we'll send it out to you. So, yeah, there is someone else I'm waiting. There is someone who hasn't been in contact yet. So, yeah. Interesting first half so far. Not
Plenty
bad.
more to come in the second half.
Not bad so far. So yeah, it's definitely been an interesting thing. A lot of people agreeing with me. A lot of people agreeing with you. Yeah, I'll tell you what. While I am online, let's. Stephen obviously done his 24-hour. Let's just get through these comments while I just briefly talk about it. So, Stephen, you done your 24-hour gaming marathon? We did stream some of it live, but yeah, it was quite laggy. So we done about an hour of it, and yeah, you done it. You caught up with sleep now. You feel a lot better, don't you? Yeah, no, it was sitting in front of a screen for 24 hours doesn't seem that difficult, but it was great fun. I had a couple of the listeners. Chris, I think, was in there for a bit. CO, Paul, Ben obviously played a couple of games alongside me, so it's good to have a chat, talk a bit of football as well. But to everybody that donated, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. £750 was what I managed to raise. We've still got some more to come for that, because obviously we do those raffles to get those 2 boxes up on the raffle site this week for you and Ben's charity. So yeah, you got some more. So hopefully that'll raise you another few £100, and then pretty much both of you will be on nearly £1,000 each, which is fantastic. Really, it's money what's well needed for these charities. So yeah, great news for him. So well done. I was going to come on and play you, but yeah, you lot just were fucking took too long, mate. Do you know what I mean? Leaving me sitting in a waiting room for fucking 45 minutes. It was because no one wanted to come off, mate. They were right into it. But no. But anyway, to the guys who donated, very much. You said you're going to give someone a shirt. So yeah, let's do that and see where we go with that. Right, let's click a button. You can barely see it. Oh, there you go. Mike Blackledge. Mike Blackledge, you have won the shirt. Get in touch with Stephen. He'll sort that out for you. But thank you very much to everybody who donated. we have got some other bits and pieces coming up. So yeah, we will be doing some different bits and pieces for charity.
That is right. It was 24. It is a day that I won't get back, but it was for mine. For anybody that doesn't know, it was for mine. It's charity, and they're a charity that's important to me, so it was worth it. And Mike, congratulations. I will bring the shirt to the next home game, which I believe is Ipswich. If you're there, and we'll get that sorted for you, mate. Well done, and thank you for your donation as well.
Chris says, but you only played 2 games. You must have been bored to shit out of you.
No, I wasn't. I played a couple. I did only play 2 games, but there's a lot to do on both of them. So, and they're the only 2 games I really play. So I was happy to do that.
But I might get in there. Yeah, okay. All right. Calm down.
Mike, let me know. Just drop a message if you're going to be at Ipswich. If not, I'll bring it to whatever game you're at.
I don't know if Newhouse is every man won it. I think it was called. I don't know if it's still there or not. So yeah. I don't know, mate. Right, we're an hour in. Question for you then: is it time to get a new recruitment in? And is the new guy who's reportedly coming, the guy from Palace, will he, if Aldo's still in charge, which he will be because obviously he's director of football, will it make any difference? He said it'd be at Sheffield Wednesday, not he can't make Ipswich, all right?
Oh, that's fine, mate. I'll bring it to Sheffield Wednesday, not a problem. I think the biggest problem, and I'm literally stealing this from John, who is listening. He's just texted me to say, too many mates at this football club will never succeed with mates and people who are liked. They must be respected, not always liked. And I think that's where our problem is behind the scenes. The guys in the top jobs and in the positions that really make a difference to the football club, I don't know how good they are at their jobs on a day-to-day basis. That's not for me to comment. But where Alex Aldridge is concerned, we all know he was very much liked by John Berylson. We all know he, went to Stoke. It didn't work, and he was, welcomed back with open arms. And lots of people talk highly at him at our football club. But it's not. That doesn't mean that he's good at his job. It just means that he's got friends at the club that are willing to tell him how great he is. It would be really interesting, and you'll never know, because we signed I think it was either Obafemi or Mayer, and the first thing that comes up is them saying, Alex Aldridge was talking about the deal, this, that, and the other. And it's like, how do we know that it's actually him that's doing the business behind the scenes? So I think the recruitment really needs to be looked at. If the guy from Palace is going,
that's the one. There's one for you, Millwall, Wall Talk, and Max, or or Mark Litchfield, or whoever. Do a show with Aldo and actually tell us, what does he do? Who makes the decision? Because Andrew Roberts has a valid point here. Do you think Edwards feels undermined that Aldo is picking the players that come to the club? As a manager, shouldn't Edwards be the one picking the players he thinks will work for him? I do know that I think a lot of football clubs now, especially I think ours, is very, very based on analytical rather than face-to-face watching. So I'm led to believe through a couple of scouts what have offered players to the team. People didn't want to go watch certain players. So, yeah, again, it's third hand. So I don't know. I can't back that up with proof. So I've got no idea. But if we could have a wall talk, maybe, or you're more than welcome to come on here, but you might not. And tell us, who chooses the players?
Yeah, we might be doing him a massive disservice, and if we are, hold my hands up and apologise. But until you know what's really going on when we go in for these players, because let's face it, look at Casper De Norre, for example. No one's ever heard of him, but someone has scouted him somewhere. Has that come from Alex Aldridge? Did it come from Gary Rowett? What was the, what's the,
no
where's
PR
the connection?
bullshit. No PR bullshit is about adding a generic paragraph to every bit of transfer news. Realistically, tell us, did you pick Fleming, or was that Russell and Rowett what the rumours are? Denor again, was it Rowett? What players did you bring in, and what players was there a manager or someone else? I know you're the one who signs the contract, maybe, but
there's
who is it?
There's an interesting comment coming along, saying apparently that Alex Aldridge was at Morecambe for a number of games to watch this new lad Mayer. So it's who knows? It could be. And again,
if that is true, then I'll take my hat off to him, because Morecambe's a fucking shithole of the place.
You don't know, do you? You don't. And like I said, there's some really, really good people that work at Millwall, and I would never throw them all under the bus, especially some people that I've known for a long time. But you do have to question that. There's a saying, isn't there, in business, that you can't be, you don't get anywhere being nice. You've got to make the tough decisions. You've got to, the top business owners, the top people make decisions that's best for the business. We're a football club, but they still operate like a business because it's about money at the bottom line. Are they making the best decisions, or are they making the decisions because it's easy for them?
Do you know what? I'm really tempted to do a show one day based on that. On that comment, what he's put there, I'm really tempted to just do a show and chat GDP and just ask them who would be. In fact, I might do it in a minute just for the crack. But who would be the best players to get in who fit into our current style of football? That could be quite funny, couldn't it? I'd only be asking. I would only be taking credit for Fleming and Denor. Pass the blame on the rest. You're doing chat GDP now, aren't you?
No, I wasn't actually. I was replying to a message, but
Aldo won't come on. He won't want to answer. Do you know someone else who won't come on? I don't think is Rowett either, because I put a couple of requests into Rowett, and I've not.
He's probably listened to our shows before. That's why.
Listen, Rowett done a good job for us. He kept us stable and everything else, but there were things what weren't right as well. So and at the end of the day, we wouldn't be doing ourselves justice if we didn't ask difficult questions, would we? I'm more than happy to give you pre-written questions and stick to those pre-questions if you want, and give you editorial control if you want it, Mr. Rowett. Anyone from the club too. I don't mind giving you editorial control if. Just so we can't doctor your answers or anything else. But we are a Millwall show, and anyone who wants to come on, more than happy. But any viewer who wants to come on, you're not getting full editorial control, mate. So, yeah, angers me that we lose players with potential who'll play at Bromley with links to them. It's true. Though,
and that's it. That's it. And this is the problem that we have. I don't know if this is on the subject, but it's a little bit of a tangent. There's a series on Disney where David Beckham goes back to his team in London. It's the first team where he helps out the 13-year-olds. And one of the comments that sticks from that is that the talent in South London, the footballing talent in South London is huge. There's so much potential in the area, yet we don't ever see any of it. We never, ever see any of it. The only one that's got anywhere near it at the moment is Romain Esse, who is, he's got sort of couple of decent game time in the last couple of appearances. But other than that, you just don't see them. They bugger off everywhere else other than us.
Do you know what's Andrew? No, I didn't, but I will message him now and see if he comes back to me while we're on. So yeah. Chelsea and all that lot. I've got satellite clubs all around London, same as I think Manchester United has, Man City has. They're all there. That's why we need this training ground to be opened up to start being built as soon as possible, just so that we can get in there.
Yeah, and the facilities and the academy being not, because we're not at level 1, are we? I think we're at tier 2, which stopped us from getting promoted last season when the kids won their league and won that game against, I think, Sheffield United. So they are trying, but I don't know. I think ultimately the level of performances over the last couple of weeks have not been good enough. I'm not going to go back to what we've already discussed, whether it be confidence, whether it be ability, whether it be passion. There's a number of things it could be, but we do need to pick up some points. However, I do think there just needs to be a little bit of time given to Edwards, and I know people are going to say, we're dropping down the league and a relegation battle. For now, we're teetering on that, and I get that, but a little bit of support over the next few games. All it took was a spell over Christmas to really put us up the table. You get another one like that, and then you can plan for next season, and you can really start to look at how Joe Edwards can take this team forward. And I think he will. I think he will.
I think he will. Listen, I think Edwards will, but I think what needs to be done is that Edwards needs to have the full support of the board. Not, going, I want you to do this job, but I want you to do this job on a pound shop budget. Find some money and go, we can't give you a lot, but here's 3-5 million. Go see what you can get from that. Use it wisely. Would be great. That would be thingy.
All I'm saying,
I've texted him, Andrew. So if he comes back to me while we're still on show, then I'll read the message out.
This mayor, this guy from Morecambe, is really interesting because the way it sounds, he's been brought into play. He's not going into the under-21s. He has been brought in to come in on the left-hand side, right?
Yeah.
I think, for argument's sake, just say he looks good and gets a couple. He's got 5 assists and 3 goals. Just say he gets a couple more goals, a couple more assists at this level in the summer, and he gets sold on. That's exactly what Joe Edwards has been brought into this football team to do, to go and get young talent from other clubs that we can take them from let's face it, Morecambe, it's arse end of nowhere, playing in League 2. He's now come to London. He'll be playing in the second tier of English football. If it works, that's what Joe Edwards has been brought in to do. Joe Edwards has not been brought into the football club to see Jake Cooper, become be sold for millions and millions of pounds, or Tom Bradshaw, or players like that. So if that's the way we're going to go, fine. I've got no issue with it, but he has to be given the tools to be able to do that.
Chris, the reason we're saying it is that a few of the Harris players are shit, and a few of them are okay. And that's where we're coming from. Realistically, look, I agree with you. If a player's good enough, he's good enough. But what we're saying is, over the last 7 years, we all know that we need to find better players or look at players. And we've given names, not just stupid money players, League 1, League 2 players like the lad at Aldershot, or the other young lads where they've been brought and loaned back to clubs and stuff like that. Yet we don't seem to ever make those moves. We go for older has-been players who are proven. So that's where we go. That's where we're going from with it, and go from there. Stoke, Blackpool, QPR, a bit improving. Swansea, Huddersfield are all very poor teams. We are better than these teams all. I don't think we'll be relegated. I do think we possibly could get dragged into sort of, not a relegation scrap, but a sort of relegation, that if we don't pick up points, then we could be in it. Here we go, look. ChatGPT suggests Charlie Keeman, Richard Santos, Danny Mayo. Wow, that's interesting. Ethan Galbraith, Sam Cosgrove, George Hurst, Jordan Shipley, Scott Twine, CJ Hamilton, Ryan Hardy.
Yeah, I mean,
that to me says, and these are the next ones that are on our list, and
well, no, because a load of those are big money. Big money.
Yeah.
There's a million and one different things that people can say about who we should sign and what we should do and money and how we move forward as a football club. To move forward, I think that, and who was on earlier said the right thing. The owners, the board, the manager, the fans, the players are all pulling in the same direction. They're all together. They've all got a strong relationship between them, and that's what's driving. That's the driving force. At the moment, I'm going to be honest. I think we've fallen into a little bit of a trap of perhaps thinking that we're better than what we are. Or I think under Gary Rowett, we were overachieving, and how he got some of those players to be within 45 minutes of the playoffs is quite remarkable. But I just think that the club and James Berylson have decided that we're going to go down a completely different route. And whether people like it or not, or whether they agree with it or not, Edwards is going to stay. He's going to remain the manager for the foreseeable future. And we just need to try and get around him, and support him and support what the players are trying to do. I don't particularly think it's going to work every week, but eventually it will start to build this football club back to somewhere where it needs to be in terms of competing with in this division again. And also we know our limitations. We need to be taking these young players, developing them and selling them on. We've said it for so long now. This is why Mayer's been signed. This is why he's come out and spoken massive defence of Remain essay.
Hang on, 1 minute. Like, right here, Bailey, I've got a better idea, right? Because I can tell you the first person what will probably retweet them as good sources. What you need to do is everyone who's on here watching, those names will come up on the chat GDP, right? Where are they? Here. You want to pick a name from here and basically go, there was a source on that Millwall podcast who suggested we are looking at and pick a name for the summer window. And we'll just see how many we can get. Don't all suddenly do it now. But over the next couple of days, just go like, yeah, there was a source on that Millwall podcast who suggested that we're looking at the one. I doubt if everyone would listen to the show. They might do, they might not. But I guarantee that someone does. And whoever gets the most retweets or whoever gets the most bites, then we're on next Friday's show, you'll win a prize. Fair enough, Stephen? That seems fair, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, we got hammered with a Fleming thing. At least we can put someone else's name to it this time.
Oh, it'll be funny, mate. we listen, all of us who are listening to this, we all know that it come from ChatGPT, right? We know that there's thingy, but I can tell you now that there'll be a couple of up and comings what will believe this, and they will go. It'll be funny. If you're listening to this in a podcast, this is in you're probably listening to this in 2 parts tomorrow. So yeah, good luck.
So that comment you've just gone past, can you go back to it? No, it was about Rowett and that's this one, Andrew. Problem was Rowett didn't build for the future. Couldn't see that we would eventually need replacements for Cooper and Hutch. Wanted to keep buying midfielders, and that's the nail on the head. And it's why our club, over a prolonged period of time, have never been able to fully progress to the next level, because it was always about who can we get in on loan. And I know that Edwards has done the same thing, but that's why the signing of Mayer is just a glimpse of what he's trying to do, to actually invest in younger players, not just loan them all, because they go back and then you don't get them again. And then you've improved someone else's position, because let's face it, if Tanganga has a good spell, or Norton Cuffy has a good spell, someone could come in for 6-7 million quid and Arsenal go, yeah, go on then, and you've just helped them sell a homegrown player. That's why I think that's the thing with Rao. It was always for the here and now and not where we were going to end up.
I mean, look, David Squire comes on. The other problem is if we play Genoa and Saville, they lack pace and watch the game go by. And if they are not on the top of their game, which is true.
Yeah, it is
this
true.
one's a
But the
good one as
problem
well.
is they are better than the other. They're better than the other players that we've got.
No,
But
that's it. Look,
maybe
in the last 6 seasons, we finished 8th 3 times, 9th and 11th. Are we talking this is the 6th season? Okay. It's not the players. Questionable.
No, I get. I'm not so sure about that. About it not being the players, because I think if you look at the standard of the league last year, it was miles away from what the standard of the Championship is this year. For a start, miles away.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there.
There's part of it. There's part of it is down to the management and off the field, but I don't think you can compare the two.
Hello, mate. Welcome. If you go back to the beginning part of the show, if you've only just joined, we had a whole guy on. Here we go. Coming to Coventry next Sunday. Thanks. How's Norton Cuffy doing? We'll be doing we're going to be doing a dual stream later this week with the Sky Blue Hub. So, a bit like what we did with Hull before this weekend's game. So we'll be doing one of those later in the week.
And Norton Cuffy's been very, very good. But the last couple of games, admittedly, he's come back from an injury. He's been very, very ineffective. But overall, been a very good loan spell.
Well, Bailey, S.A. Fleming, Mayo, Amarku, we have some actual young talent in the forward areas now. At least 2 of them we should be able to sell on 100%. For big money. Yeah.
100%.
Standard of league changes and players get older. It definitely is the players. One half we are dog water, and next we're playing Hull for a run of their money. I get what you mean, sir. Yeah. The players are getting older, though. We can all see Hutch has lost his legs. Murray is aging. Bart is too old now. It can be both the players and the manager.
Oh, it can. But with that, just on that point, it's the fact that we've relied on them for so long and never really had a long-term plan for when we get to this stage. We've now hit this stage, and it's just kind of, what do we do? What do we do? That's where the forward planning, where Edwards, I think, has been brought in to maybe try and counter that so that won't happen again.
Stephen, do you think we can buy a decent striker from League Two like Jake Young for say 500,000 and get Joe to polish a rough diamond? We did it with Morrison and Gregory.
That is the goal of Joe Edwards and the football club at the moment. They're hoping that they can identify young players. I must admit, I don't know who that Jake Young is. I don't know who he plays for, but take him for example. If you invest £500,000 in him, you'd expect him to have to come in and be all right. But all it takes, I think that Keenan, whatever his name, the guy that Ant spoke about, Potter, Keenan Lewis Potter, I think his name is. He was sold to the Premier League for about £16 million because he had a really good spell in the Championship. That's what we need. We need a young player to come in, and maybe it'd be a Maku, maybe it'd be Mayer, maybe it'd be SA, someone to come in and really hit the ground running. Yeah, you don't want to be losing your best players, but the only way that we get better is by selling these youngsters if they perform and clubs want them to then reinvest in the playing squad. So 100%, Andrew, yes. Get someone rough, as you say, diamond in the rough, and mould them to be the player that might just take us forward off the pitch in terms of finances.
Vampire Millwall, think we can get Stone Island to sponsor. I think we've got more chance of Stone Island sponsoring us really than the main team, to be fair. Whatever Edwards says at half time seems to put fire in the belly for the second half. Why can't he do the half-time speech at the start and maybe we get somewhere? Good point. This is brilliant. You seen this?
Joe Tampazoni. Click that and send it to him.
Yeah, seeing it. Can see Alex Mitchell coming for next season. Jake Young plays for Bradford and has 16 goals, so definitely could be good. Durex should sponsor us. All our shots get stopped. I have heard from reliable source we're in for Sam Cosgrove. Go on, Bailey.
There you go. That was the chat. That was the chat. That was the chat.
Yeah. Go on, Bailey. Put it out on Twitter. Go on. Don't tag us in it, because if it, or maybe tag us in it just if to say yeah. But I guarantee you will get some. You will get some bites. So yeah, what we're suggesting is the next couple of days go fishing, and whoever gets the most bites will win a prize on next Friday's show. But we want proof. But will Millwall invest money, not put it in their pocket? What we're selling the players? Don't know.
That's the $1 million question. But if you really, really want to become successful, like there, only be a selling club if the profit is put back in the squad. If you want to be successful, and you actually, it's really sad to say this, but when John Berylson passed away, James Berylson made a statement about wanting to take on his dad's legacy or his dream. I can't remember the words. He said he wanted to fulfill what his dad wanted. If his dad wanted us to be in the Premier League, which we all think he did, then the way to do that is to invest in the playing squad, not pocket the money. So if he's true to what he said, that's the way we're going to do it.
I totally agree with you. I'm going to read this out for you, Andrew, because you put it on there about 3 times now, and it was on Twitter earlier. If John Lennon was shot by a Millwall striker, he'd be 84 this year.
I've seen that.
Talking sponsorship. What's the news on Husky? Don't know, mate. Don't know. Don't know. We will. Hopefully, we'll get an update on it soon enough. But yeah, this one is brilliant, Jonathan. This is brilliant. We should be sponsored by Pampers because we're piss up front and shit at the back. Oh, mate, that's fucking brilliant. My Twitter account is locked until next Friday. Whoops. Just being selfish now, but Christ, we need a better sponsor and a better looking kit. You fucking got no complaints from me there, Malik. Who was the last unknown, unproven player we purchased that went on to blow us away? Tough one. Morrison or Gregory? Wow. Once you watch this back on YouTube, I will put in the comments a vote, and we'll see which one you think is. But it will be one of those two. So we'll put that. We'll put that into the.
I would argue. I think Steve Morrison, the fact that he got up to the Premier League and made it as an international, I think it's hard. We took him from non-league and he ended up playing for Wales. So
no, that's it. So yeah, so we're done there. What's that? Oh, I don't know. Fucking some funny tweet from fucking thingy. Sorry, Mickey, didn't know it had been put on Twitter. Yeah. South London Press is going to be our sponsor next year. Yeah. I don't know if they need to be our sponsor. Well, I suppose they need to. They seem to get all the fucking exclusives, don't they?
Going back to one of the comments from earlier, I don't know if you started it, Mick. It was about how many points that we think we're going to get from our next 4 games. I did. Where are we? If memory serves me well, it's Coventry, Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday, and Southampton. Yeah. I think we can disregard Southampton. I think that's a hiding waiting to happen. I think we'll beat Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah. I think we'll get a point at home to Ipswich, and I'll come back to that in a minute before people think I'm mad. And Coventry, I think we might struggle on Sunday. So I'm going to go 4 points out of the next 4, which isn't a lot. Wow. How many points do you think put them in? London Lions gone 1. I think Ipswich. I think Ipswich are slow. They're still a very, very good team, but they are slowly just losing their grip on the at the top of the league. They're now fourth. Leeds and Southampton have overtaken them. They lost at the weekend. I think we'll get a point. I think we'll get a point at home to Ipswich and we'll beat Sheffield Wednesday. The other two very much struggling. Depends how you get them on the day.
I'm going to go for 9 points. I'm going to go.
Who's going to beat
Ipswich.
us?
I'm going to go. Who's going to beat us?
Yeah, out of them four.
I am going to go with. I think it will probably be Coventry. Will beat us. I've just got a feeling with Southampton that I'm using my thingy because when we play Southampton, it's very close to the anniversary of the Basingstoke 8, and I just think that around there, I think that we might have inspirational luck or inspirational help or divine help, and yeah. Listen, I know that realistically, I would say 6 definitely. I think we get Ipswich, and I think we get Sheffield Wednesday. But I'm just going to go, stupid. Be a bit positive. Do you know what I mean? We've had a bit of a negative game. Well, some other one else has gone here. Look, where are we? 3 points, 3 draws. 3 points, 3 draws.
Yeah. So yeah,
3 points, and that's Sheffield Wednesday. 9 points. Oh, that's me. 9 points. Yeah, 1 point from the next 4 games. 3 if we're lucky. 9. Here we go. See, you're taking the piss now. What are you snorting?
Yeah, they're all saying, "What are you mad?" 9.
9 points. No points unless the coach driver gets done for speeding.
That's brilliant.
Nicky, give us a pint of what you've had, fella. 9 points. Listen, mate. You know what? You can all live in hope. But you know what? In a few weeks' time, mate, if it comes back and we got 9 points, you'd think I'm great. This is that Millwall podcast, not Leighton Orient. Yeah. 2 points. I think we get 6. I think we could beat Ipswich because Ipswich seems to be dog shit in a minute. They seem to be getting beat by all sorts. So
no, they're not. They're not that bad. They're just slowly. 4 points. If we're lucky, something on next Sunday, but I can't see it.
So look, Malcolm says 8 points, 2 wins, 2 draws. My prediction is 4 shit refs. Yeah, I think you're right there. Mickey, he just kept a straight face when he said 9 points. I did, yeah. More like 9 pints. No, it's all good. 9 pints till the end of the season. 7 pints. 7 points. Yeah, 7 points is thing. I think we could possibly beat Ipswich, and I think we could definitely beat Sheffield Wednesday. Coventry, I don't know. And Southampton. No, Southampton. The only thing I'm saying about Southampton is purely because of it's near the anniversary and we ain't played them in a while. And I think it could be Southampton's due a bad game, but someone else said there. Realistically, at the end of the day, it could be a cricket score. Kiefer Moore will beat us for Ipswich, guaranteed.
He got 2 goals yesterday, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Where is he? Ipswich now, is he?
Yeah.
Is it?
They lost, but he got 2 goals for them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. 50 points is normal safety, so we can really see 6 more wins this season based on how inconsistent we are. Ipswich have Kiefer Moore alone now. Come on, the second half against Preston.
The 6 wins there that you say that we need to get to 50 points, or you could say 5 wins and 3 draws, which is either or, right? Mm. We still have to play, and I know that, again, I'm just sort of thinking out loud here, and correct me if I'm wrong. We've still got to play Sheffield Wednesday at home. We've still got to play Rotherham, I think, away from home. I think we've got to play Huddersfield. I think Birmingham, perhaps at home. Swansea, we've still got to play, who are below us. Blackburn away in not so long. So the teams below us, we still have to play. They're going to be the season-defining games. You've got to pick up points when those games roll around, and we'll be okay. Southampton's, your Leicesters, Leeds, teams like that. Let's face it, if we get anything in those games, happy days. We'll take what we get. But the teams that are below us in the league, when they come around, we have to pick up points there.
So we've got Coventry, Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday, Southampton, and then we got Watford at home, Blackburn away, Birmingham at home, Leeds away, West Brom. So we've got some thingy. Rotherham's not until April. Huddersfield's in April. Leicester's in April. Cardiff's in April. And Sunderland's in April. And then our final game is obviously Swansea.
We've got Plymouth as well.
No.
Plymouth at home. Plymouth at home, yeah. I think that's the last home game of the season.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It was at the bottom of the page. Yeah. 27th of April.
You're playing some real good teams, but you're also playing some teams that are in and around you. So, like as I say, right now, I don't think it's time to massively panic. Come back to this conversation after the Sheffield Wednesday game, and you'll have a lot more of a clearer understanding on what's going to be in store for us from now until the end of the season, I think.
No, sorry, thingy. We were doing it on YouTube only for the last couple of shows, but we haven't done one for about a week or so. We didn't do one on Friday, but yeah, we will do Facebook next time. So yeah, sorry about that, Dan. It's purely because YouTube puts it out there and tells you that it's coming for some unknown reason. Since the APIs, whatever they're called, Twitter and Facebook don't give you a pre-warning that it's coming. It's when it goes live, it just goes bang. But the next one we do, we make sure we're on Facebook for you. So yeah, not a problem. Or Instagram, one of the two, which we'll do. This team can't fight. Hope they prove me wrong. Rotherham on the 1st of April, Huddersfield 6, massive games, 100%. We played Bagetta against the higher teams. That's a tough run-in, but you'll stay up. I wouldn't worry too much. It's a tough running.
I think that's a whole fan. I think that was a whole fan from earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it was.
Position we're currently in the league. Every game is going to be tough. 100%. Mark says if they score first, our heads will drop, and we will be playing catch up, and the fitness of our squad isn't good. So it's going to be tough. Leicester could be promoted by the time we play them. Yep. Yeah. No worries. No worries at all. Right. We're going to do one more draw for you. Let's bring that up. Everyone who's commented is in there. 39 of you are in there. And if it's the same person before, then no. Let's have a look and see who's going to win the last key ring of the night. Even the whole fans are in there. Connor Parsfield. There you go, Connor. You have won yourself a key ring. Drop us a DM or an email or something and let us know if you want to pick it up from Stephen at the next home game, or you want us to post it out to you. Let us know what happened to the Harrods lad. Has he been sectioned yet? No, I don't know where Bobby is. Probably because we're not on Facebook today. He probably hasn't known we're doing it. So yeah, just basing it on we haven't risen to the occasional season, and now the gap is getting smaller. And we are looking over our shoulders. Will the players bottle it? No fight in a lot of these players.
We'll be okay. Like I said, come back to this conversation in a couple of weeks and see where we are then. But I think we'll be all right. But it's going to be the big thing under Joe Edwards is that, and the way that the club is at the moment, it is going to be a lot of ups and downs until we have a side that he wants to be putting out onto the football pitch. So from now until the end of the season, there'll be a good result around the corner, then there'll be a bad one, and the inconsistency. But I think we'll be fine. It'll just be a case of sort of hold on to your hats. It might get a bit iffy, but I think we'll be all right in the end.
No, that's it. So yeah, thank you very much, gents. No worries, Connor. Speak to you later on. Will I get my lucky that Millwall podcast keyring before the Southampton game?
The last time when I brought them all to the last home game, Biggie wasn't there. So okay. The next home game, if you're there at Ipswich, mate, I'll have it with me.
Not many ups at the moment.
No, there's not. But there's one coming. There is one coming. Just keep the faith. Honestly, keep the faith.
That's it then. You've been listening to that Millwall podcast. Please do subscribe, like this show, share it with a friend. Get the links from YouTube. This will go out as a pod tomorrow. We're going out in 2 parts, I think. I'll put part out 1 tomorrow and part 2 out on Tuesday, just because we normally put 2 shows out at the beginning of the week. But obviously, Chat with Chaps went out today as a pod. If you've not checked that out yet, make sure you have a look at that. And that's pretty much it. Stephen, have you got anything you want to say?
No, thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, thanks to those that donated to my charity stream. Really appreciate it. Mike, well done on the shirt. We'll sort that out. And as I say, if anybody would like to take part in Who Are You, I'm really looking to try and revive this back and get some recordings done. 20 questions about your time following Millwall. Really good fun, about 45 minutes. Get in contact, drop me an email, Stephen at that Millwall podcast, or drop me a message on Twitter. Or Mickey, if you want Mickey to do the questions, please, he's more than happy to, that way. He's more than happy to do them. Get in contact and we'll get you on the show.
Yeah, 100%. What's his name there says, look, Bobby leaves messages on Thingy. You can leave us voice messages. You can go on Twitter now and do voice messages. If you want your voice message on the show, mate, just leave us a voice message, mate. We can do it. But yeah, hey ho, is what it is. Right, that's it for another week. We will see you possibly with a pre-record midweek, but we will see you next Friday night, hopefully. So be safe, be good. And if you can't do that, just stay in bed. Speak to you soon. Laters, bye.